Hello, friends at UWM, as well as friends of Heritage Christian and my family. This is my interview project. I chose this because I wanted to connect better with my audience, as well as the people who I interview. I feel like an interview project would be the best because I can kind of open a window into somebody's life through my interviews, and that helps with my topic, which is how does a celebrity or famous individual help influence a person's life. My title for this project is My Wings to Soar. But I'm gonna hold that for I'm gonna hold that for the very end to explain why I called it My Wings to Soar. Well, what I chose to do, as you heard interviews, I did 3 interviews, 3 different people, all from different aspects of hobbies and interests. We have an art teacher, our literature teacher, and then a youthful junior friend named Oliver Hoffman who loves music basically. And now it's time for a glance into other people's influences. First interview. Hello, this is the first interview for my interview session. This is Oliver Hoffman. Say hello, Oliver.
Hello.
All right. I'm gonna ask you 3 questions, all relating to my certain topic. First question is, what celebrity or famous individual has had the greatest influence in your life so far?
I would probably have to say Keanu Reeves because he was a celebrity that was not really conformed to a lot of rich wealth and was overall an actually good person. So probably Keanu Reeves.
Okay. Then, in what way have they influenced you where, your actions, your thoughts, your mentality, what way would you say he influenced you, Keanu Reeves?
Definitely mentality wise because he literally does not care about what other people think of him. And most celebrities out there, they always try to dress nice, do all this stuff, do fake stuff basically to just project a sort of image towards others. Keanu Reeves, you can even see him sometimes in New York just in normal clothes on a normal subway. Doesn't really care about the fame.
Like you like that he's humble, and you're saying you're humble, but since he's humble, basically.
I like how he's humble and he actually has a kind heart.
Like he doesn't do too much. Nice, sweet.
Yeah.
All right, and then the last question. Would you say that Keanu Reeves has influenced you in a positive way or a negative way?
Definitely positive because growing up, I'd always look at other celebrities and see how good of a life they were, and it would always be projecting an image that most celebrities want you to see. And after I saw Keanu Reeves and realized he's literally just like anyone else, it kind of just humbled me in a way and kind of made me strive to be more like him.
Because I guess that makes sense because Keanu Reeves, $1 million plus actor in John Wick, The Matrix.
Yeah.
What's that one called? I think it's called Speed.
Mm-hmm.
So much more. And he's got all the money basically you could want compared to us. And he's as humble as anybody, probably even more than myself. Well, thank you. That's the first interview. Oliver Hoffman, good junior friend. Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, my friend. First one. Hello. This is the second interview, and I'm with our lovely dual enrollment English teacher, Mrs. Hewitt.
Hi, good morning.
For the first question, what celebrity or famous individual has greatly influenced you in your life?
This before. Okay. There are 2 celebrities that have impacted me in different ways. The first one is Maya Angelou. When I read her book in high school, I was very inspired just by what she overcame in her life and how she continued to pursue particularly poetry and pursuing just different excellence in her life despite these challenges that came there, and also was really inspirational to me because I went into college as a intercultural studies major, and part of that was just growing up being around people that were different than myself and feeling how important it is that we understand others' stories And so Maya Angelou's was one. And then I got to meet her, and she gave me, to this day, the best hug of my life. She smelled amazing. And I sang in a gospel choir at a place that she was speaking, and she was just a phenomenal woman. And I actually now have a Barbie of her as part of the Inspirational Figures Barbies. And another person who I also was able to meet is this woman named Elizabeth Elliot. And her husband, Jim Elliot, went down to Ecuador, which I've been to Ecuador and as a high school student to serve as a missionary. And her husband was killed by the Auca Indians, who were a pretty violent tribe then in Ecuador. And she went back there with her young daughter and ministered to the people there. And because of that, all of the people in the tribe there came to Christ. And then from that, they actually went out and started evangelizing to other tribes.
Was there a movie on that?
Yes.
We think we...
Called End of the Spear.
Yes, we watched that in...
Freshman year.
Freshman year. That's crazy. And you met them?
Yes. So through the husband had died, but I met her. And then I actually was asked to record for a musical that was written about her called At Any Cost. And I recorded the Spanish language version to be like the instructional tracks for that. And I just was very inspired by her because I admire strong women. And I also had a fairly negative view of Christian marriages as I was in high school going into college, and had never really seen a solid marriage where a woman was still able to be strong and wasn't like put under the thumb of some oppressive male. And so seeing her marriage and how they worked together, and then another that was in my college as well, was something where I thought, okay, maybe one day I would want to be married. So she impacted me just spiritually as a strong woman, and then ultimately desiring to maybe be married and have children one day.
So you'd say like your actions and your mindset more so were inspired by them, like how you acted towards other people, or?
Well, 100% acted towards other people, particularly with Maya Angelou. I mean, she's impacted me to this day. I don't teach American Lit. If I did, or when I did, at least once, I would have used pieces of her work there. I still have books of hers in my classroom as well. But just the idea of, like I said, perseverance, but also understanding someone who is from a different culture has inspired me all along. It's even part of what I'm working on for my PhD. And then with Elizabeth Elliot, I think that was something for me spiritually that impacted me and showed me this strong woman of God, which I've continued to be and have desired to show to other women, that you can serve the Lord and still be someone who has strength of character and of mind.
Well, that's a lot, but it's amazing. Then would you say, I feel like the answer is kind of known, but was this influence positive or negative more so?
Well, for both of these, definitely a positive influence. I think that's one of the reasons why I would select them. I would say another celebrity that I met a few times was Gwen Stefani from No Doubt. And there's a really different kind of influence there, because as much as I did admire her, especially her music, I went to several concerts and things. She just happened to grow up right around where I was from. But the image that was being portrayed during that time period for the body image of women was fairly harmful. And I know in my family life, my sister struggled with an eating disorder, and a lot of people thought she looked like Gwen Stefani, and so she wanted to maintain that image to the detriment of her own body.
It's like that's poetic, like a double edge. But thank you for the interview. It's very, very good input on the topic. We appreciate you, and this is our amazing teacher. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that was Mrs. Buteau, our amazing art teacher, for the final interview. Now, in conclusion, all three of these interviews showed best how each of these persons has structured their life off of a singular person and how greatly that has affected them. for the positive. What I learned through this process of research and through these interviews is that the effects of each person's inspiration is what they make of it, whether it's positive or negative. This relates to my topic sentence title. Well, what the frick? This relates to my title because My Wings to Soar was basically about how I wanted to strive for success, and kind of it structured and showed how, the effects of what I was chasing and what was influenced on me. You know, my wings to soar. My wings being basically, what or how I gained success. Soaring being the success. So you're like flying towards that success. That's what I thought. I kind of came up with it on the spot. It sounds nice. Yes, but for example, I love basketball. I always love NBA players. It's players with such cool stories like Michael Beasley or Kevin Durant, and they worked hard in basketball. They came to wealthy success. KD owns his own shoe brand and much more assets. That's what I wanted. I could say that, this isn't technically positive influence because guess what? Now I have a negative way of viewing money, and comparison kind of stole like positive thinking from me because now I'm always thinking, oh, I need more money and whatnot. But finally, real conclusion, your influences are what you make of it and whatnot.